Write a movie that you love. That is why do we go to see movies? And where a movie just hits you in the heart and you're like, oh my God, that movie is great, even if it's Pretty Woman.
How do you search for those beautiful moments in the midst of tragedy?
I think I find the tragedy first. I think the tragedy is what guts me, and then I try to find meaning in the tragedy, meaning in my tragedies. Um, and it's hard to find meaning in the tragedy. I mean, since Confessions of a Teenage Jesus Jerk, I've written two other books where I went even deeper into tragedies. And one, I checked myself into a outpatient hospital program because I was suicidal. The I've had to learn to pick my tragedies and then also give them time, I think. And that's I wasn't giving my tragedies enough time. But the beauty of tragedy is we all have tragedies. We connect on it, and I think as humans we connect more on not just the tragedy, but how we got out of the tragedy. Like even in film, it's like you put your character into conflict. Then we want to know how are they going to get out of the conflict? How are they getting out of that little tragedy moment in scene? And then that's what shows character building. And I feel like we're character building around each other when we do have tragedies in our lives, when we find our ways to pull out of it and then survive and then go, wait a second, okay, how does this work for me in in being with other people? And then other people, it's just the beauty of, oh yeah, I've been through that. You hear someone that goes, oh yeah, no, I've been through that, I get it. And that's all you need. And you're like, and there's just instant camaraderie with tragedy, which is sad. I don't know why we need tragedy and we all just can't be joyful Buddhas. But for some odd reason, tragedy and suffering, I think, is in the theme of our lives and our existence. So when we put it on the page, and we get to see our protagonist get into the tragedy, get into the conflict, whatever the conflict is. The conflict could be the protagonist wants to ask the woman of his dreams out on a date, or it could be the protagonist is being riddled by bullets and they're trying to dive and they're in the trenches. And as far as the film is concerned and the conflict's concerned, the stakes are the same. And as far as what the character's internal tragedy is happening, I like to even when I have students who are writing romantic comedies and they apologize for it. I'm sorry. I'm like, don't apologize. And I was like, watch mob movies. Watch mob movies, and as you look at the beats of the conflict of the mob movies, it's very simple because there's a lot of hierarchy involved. And then bring it over to your romantic comedy, and you can add those beats in and keep those stakes just as high as the mob film. But it'll be under the guise of a romantic comedy and the greatest the fun comedy vibe. A lot of it comes from a tragedy or a tragic place, and that's when it's even more funny. So.
That's great. Do you have certain movies you recommend, one romantic comedy versus one mob movie?
Oh, that would be I wish I had those. I watched that TV series Gomorrah recently. The Italian, I think it was the Italian one. But as for mob movies, I'll tell them to watch. I mean, I spoke ahead. I don't have a good knowledge of romantic comedies or mob movies. But one movie I bring up a lot in class, and it drives some people nuts, is Swingers. I think that was 1996 with Jon Favreau and Vince Vaughn, and they're a group of friends. And Jon Favreau's character, his name's Mike, and he's the protagonist, and he's trying to get over his girlfriend, that he's trying to get over heartbreak. He's trying to make it in LA, but mainly he's trying to get over heartbreak. And everyone in the movie just wants to help him get over heartbreak. But if you really watch the movie and you watch the dialogue that's happening, they are fighting the whole time. It's almost like they're about to come to blows with their dialogue, but they all want the same thing. They just want Mikey to feel better. Mikey, just get over your ex-girlfriend. But it's a constant push and pull, and it's funny and it's sad, and so when when the point of view of each character is bringing in that high of stakes to the same goal, that's when, it's, I mean, if it's a tragedy to watch the movie. The whole movie is a tragedy, but it's hilarious because everyone's the angle they're fighting at is just funny.
Sure, sure. I think there was some in Moonlight and Mystic Pizza. There's a lot of dialogue that's very similar to that too, where it might be loving, but they're yelling and sort of it is like rapid fire with the dialogue and back and forth.
Yeah, and that's when it's beautiful, and that's when we connect because it's like we want the character to win. It's like, how is the character going to win? How are they going to get there? And then we almost, when there's heavy conflict on the screen, it's almost like they start to go into a situation. We're like, no, don't go there. Okay, if you go there, you better do blank, blank, and blank. And of course, they're not going to do that because we want to keep the movie going another 5 minutes. So it can't be resolved yet. They need to get more sand in their eyeballs before they get to the next scene. So.
Why do you think your students feel they have to apologize, or some of them feel they have to apologize for wanting to write romantic comedies?
I don't know. I think people apologize for genre sometimes. And I'm just like, don't apologize. It's every story means something, no matter what you're doing, and it's what you love. Write a movie that you love. It's why do we go to see movies, and where a movie just hits you in the heart, and you're like, oh my God, that movie is great, even if it's Pretty Woman. But if that's what gets you, if that's what stirs your soul, there's a reason for it. Don't write that movie, but write the general idea and the general theme of that movie. Write the Meg Ryan, Tom Hanks movie. It's all just, I think maybe there's a pressure for like, oh, is it Oscar worthy? Oh, would Meryl Streep be cast in this? And it's just like, no, write your truth, write what's important to you, and that's going to make the best movie that you can make. Never write towards something that you just feel like is a good idea, that's that everyone's on and on about.
Remember the movie Foxes?
I don't.
Oh, okay. It has Scott Baio, Jodie Foster, Sally Kellerman, and is from The Runaways, Sherry Curie.
Oh, I
the
have
lead
to
singer.
watch this
Oh,
now.
okay. So, and it's the one of these movies where it just doesn't leave you, and so it's one of these things where you would say it and people go, "Oh, you like that movie?" But there shouldn't be anything wrong with liking a movie.
Yes,
It calls to you.
I totally agree, and I don't like it when people dirt on other people for liking something.
Right.
That just irks me to no end, and I think that doesn't lead to more conversation. That leads to a stop. And so, if it doesn't matter what people like, it's fun. It's like, and I come from a college radio music DJ, which was the snottiest of snottiest in the 1990s, and I was that jerk. And I started to realize, wait, just because someone doesn't know Sonic Youth or the Pooh Sticks doesn't mean that they're inferior humans, or maybe they don't like a certain thing. Like even if they don't like something, it's fun to find out why. That's the why don't you like that, or why do you like that? Oh, I found a Backstreet Boys song for a project I was working on, and I'm like, this is perfect. And I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going, well, why is Tony putting a Backstreet Boys song in there? But it's just like, it's just perfect. And if someone wants to go see the Backstreet Boys, just let them enjoy their experience. I don't like it when people try to crush people's experiences.
Right.
If they want to see Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks possibly get together, great. Why do you like that movie? We should be passionate about it because life's hard enough as it is. So, taking a crap on people's taste is kind of the last thing we need to do. Let's try to find out why they like a certain thing. That's where the fun stories are, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I agree. I think people should, whether it's music or books or film, we should be entitled to, if we want to watch a real cheesy movie and enjoy it and or even have it playing in the background all the time. Yeah. There's something that calls to us.
I use Ocean's 11 a lot in my, this is the Soderbergh, I always say his name wrong. I hope I said it right that time. His remake. But that movie's gorgeous as far as a heist movie and all the elements of storytelling. And I'll watch it for fun sometimes. And people kind of are just like, it's like, oh yeah, oh that top 40 movie, what are you talking about? And I'm like, no, there's a lot of great scenes in there that I'll bring to class and show the dynamics of, and just the dialogue. And the dialogue is tight, and those actors are all top-notch actors. Yeah, some of them are superstars, that's fine, but they are great at what they do. And there's a reason why most of them are superstars, is because they've worked really hard to get there.